Welcome to the Double Shot Drone Podcast, hosted by Dave Kessner and Mike Berthold, two professional Florida drone pilots and entrepreneurs. Hey, we're okay. So, all right, we're live, guys. here's to
Double shot drones. Here we go.
double shot drones. Hold on. All right, here we go. I'm gonna do it here.
There you go. Right out the bottle, bro.
Right out the bottle, right in the cap.
Now I'm pouring the cap.
This is to Dave Kessner and his
This
pops.
is to Dave Kessner, a member of. Well, Dave is our first guest, right, Davey?
First guest, yes.
Here's to our first guest, Dave Kessner, a member of a fellow member of Sky Eye Network. There you go.
And to his dad.
And up to your dad, yeah. Blessings to your dad, Dave, and your family.
There we go. Done.
Amaretto sweet.
Yeah. Can we do this? Can we do this drone? Can we do this thing every night?
Well,
Not
my
just
wife
on Mondays.
might have something to say about that. All
Yeah,
right, so I think this is what, Davey, our fifth or sixth podcast, maybe? I don't even know.
Yeah, our fifth or sixth practice. Well, we practiced for 4 or 5 times, yeah.
Yeah, so
now we're bringing Dave Kessner in to move us forward to the next level.
all right, so like I said, Dave, there's no really no format to this podcast. We're just talking drones, and all that. But as we bring guests on, we want to get to know them, and not only that, if anybody's watching this, we want them to get to know you as well, because as you know, and we know that it's all about who you know and the connection that you make.
Boy, isn't that the truth?
We've made so many connections through SEN, Sky Eye Network, and other networks, but mainly that one. And so this is how it's going to go. So why don't you tell us how you got into flying drones?
Well, but I got into flying drones back in 2018. I had my nephew call me. He's a licensed land surveyor, and he needed some help up there. And then when I showed up, it was a matter of we were surveying in power lines that were going into the oil field, because they no longer have gas drilling rigs. They're all electric drilling rigs. And then after we'd get the power lines in and everything else, we ended up doing power line inspections with the drone.
Nice.
And very first drone I ever flew was a Matrice 600, one of them that's great big and got the 6 different arms on it and everything else.
That's the first drone
That was the first drone that I ever flew, was a Matrice 600.
That's a good one.
I learned the hard way. How should I put it? We were practicing with it, and they he goes, go outside and practice. And so we were flying it around, and everybody showed me how to take it up, how to put the landing gear up, how to put the landing gear down. Had no problem landing it through some trees and some power lines and everything, but nobody taught me how to turn it off. So instead of taking and pulling the button back and turning the darn thing off, I pushed both buttons in and down like you do when you start it. And it's a good thing it was facing away from us and it was facing towards us instead of away from us, because it took off. And then next thing I knew, it was being all busted up and chopping a hole in the side of the building that we were renting, because it was in between that and one of them uprights for a clothesline, the old school steel clothesline, and it was just busting that drone all to pieces. And I didn't know how to turn it off, so I tackled it. I've got some really nice side-by-side scars on my hand where that thing just chopped me up.
Wait, hold up. You tackled the drone?
I tackled the drone because
You
basically
took a grenade?
I only knew one way to turn it off, and that was to grab the battery where the
Oh my
button is
God.
and do a double click. And then, yeah, they rushed me to the hospital and everything. And then
Wait, hold up, dude. If I was in a war with you, I want you in my foxhole. Because you're gonna take one for the team. Wow, that's impressive. That is, I'm sorry. That's
how
a,
should I put it? I threw that baby into a burning building, and I had to go dive in after it to make sure that it
Oh
wasn't
my
going to
God.
burn up. I had big old bruises on both sides of my thighs, and it was weird because they were these weird oval shaped bruises, but
Oh,
right through the center of it, there was absolutely no bruise because it had collapsed the capillaries so much that it didn't allow any blood to even flow. They were the craziest oval bruises that you ever saw.
I mean, Dave, did the people that were there think you were as crazy as I think you are right now, bro?
Yeah, basically it was one of those, why did you do that? And it's like, well, I had to shut it off. It was chopping a hole in the building, and it was just the one side of the props were just flying everywhere. And it's probably a good thing that, well, it's a real good thing that it has collapsible props instead of just the rigid props like you'll see on a an Inspire. And so, yeah, and the doctor says, "Do you know how lucky you are?" And I'm like, "I'm the luckiest person in the entire world." And then he looked at my legs and he's like, "No, do you know how lucky you are?" And I told him, "Yeah, I'm the luckiest person in the entire world." And he goes, "No, those bruises are right over your femoral arteries."
artery. That's what I was thinking. Wow, Dave.
So
That
All
was my
right.
that was when I first started doing drones, and then things we had kind of a fallout with the people that had us hired and everything else. So I came back to Utah, and then I ended up joining the Sky Eye Network in 2020, and
Hold up,
started.
Davey. I'm gonna venture to say you've had the roughest start to your drone career I've ever heard. Or ever will hear. Go
well,
on.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
mean, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. You're talking about Sky
Oh yeah,
Network.
then I joined the Sky Eye Network and bought all these. Well, I had a Mavic 2 Pro, and then I bought a camera so that I could learn how to do the indoor photography and stuff. And in Utah, everybody's got a pre-existing photographer for their real estate and those kind of things. And so I started doing tours of golf courses is kind of what I was stepping into right before I got offered a job to go to work for Encompass Services, flying a Matrice 300 with a Phoenix LiDAR on it, about a $60,000 bird that goes up in the air that
Which
takes
is this is currently? This is what you're doing currently, right?
Yeah, this is what I'm doing currently because yeah, we did a survey last week on a Northrop Grumman property, and it was way up in the mountains in Colorado, and it was fun hiking up and down hills that were right about 7,000 feet above sea level, and there was a rock that was just off the property that had a golden eagle pair that had just had their fledgling starting to learn to fly. And as we were doing our last pass on the east side, there's Mama Eagle, the baby eagle, and the other eagle flying around, and the drone's flying underneath them. And the one thing we were worried is she going to try to attack the drone? But
Is she going to do a Kessner?
yeah, that's what we were kind of worried about.
Hey, you know what? I got a drink to that.
Can't let you do that alone.
How much alcohol is in amaretto?
I'll just tell you, just don't go get droned because it's no fun.
Oh my God, Dave. Oh,
Devin Day told me a story. Do you know the story that Devin did?
Where he's got his nose.
The scar on his
Yeah.
nose? Yeah.
really? That's from a drone?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was at in Mexico at the Sky Eye Network BizCon,
Oh,
and they were out on a boat, and he took on the challenge, or not the challenge, but the job, I guess, of going out on the boat and being the cameraman or the drone guy to film the
Catching the
drone. And of course,
drone, yeah.
you're doing it exactly right there. He was, trying to catch the drone, and the boat went up, and the drone hit him in the face rather than he caught it on his hand. So
Well, yeah, he's got parallel scars on his nose where I've got them in between the knuckles of my hand.
Okay, I saw that at Lake Tahoe, but I didn't want to say anything. I thought there'd be a story. We'll definitely get Devin Day on here for sure. He can tell that story. So Dave, you kind of skipped forward pretty quickly there. You must have had some trial and errors other than jumping on the drone.
Oh yeah,
Kind of in
exactly.
between there. How did you get to the level you are now?
Well, it was one of those things where after we got the drone destroyed, then it was a whole bunch of different power line inspections, and we did all of the flights by hand. And so it was a matter of they needed us to fly and get one side of the pole, then get the other side of the pole and get it nadir down over the top of the pole also. And then we go to the next pole. And it's funny because I learned how to do my video editing by taking out the stuff in between the telephone poles and now video editing. And it comes in really handy when I'm doing the videos that I'm doing now with my Mavic, where there's actually stuff that people want to see in between. And we did, it was about 6 months worth of that before everything fell apart. And I ended up coming back to Utah. I'm a custom jeweler at the same time. And so I knew I could
hold up there, Dave. Your stuff is amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely
kudos to that. Yeah.
freaking amazing. You've got some talent there, buddy. No doubt
Yeah,
about it.
if
And
you guys out there haven't seen it, it's Duck Band
we'll
Wedding
definitely-
Ring, the
what is it?
website. So
what is it?
duckbandweddingring.com.
Duckbandweddingring.com. We'll
Yep.
we'll put the link down below and all
And
that.
I've got my Facebook
Hopefully.
page also that goes there. And yeah, it's one of those things. I just shut my brain off and let God speak through my hands. And everybody that wears a ring, they do their own designing. So I'm putting whatever images they want on there. And
No, but
I
there's some skills there though too. I mean, my God, just what it took to get to that level. I'm very impressed. Very impressed.
I must tell you this. I was telling my friend Carrie, who's visiting here this last week, and I was telling her about your jewelry, Dave, and stuff like that there. And the first question she asked was, "Well, how does he get the band off the duck?"
It's
yeah,
So
no,
I changed the subject, and we talked about something else.
yeah, that works just perfectly. Because yeah, no, my bands just are supposed to look like the ones that are on the ducks or have some crazy artwork. I thought they just had letters and numbers on them when I first started the page, and then all of a sudden they became, can you do a dog with a duck in its mouth and everything else? And it's like, I don't know if I can draw it, I can engrave it. And yeah, there's been a learning curve most certainly to get to where I'm at.
That's cool. Okay, so then you kind of got into doing that, but as you're doing your engraving and stuff, you continue to do drone or
Oh
you just
yeah, I was
kinda-
chomping at the bit trying to find a way to step in back into the drone world as I came to Salt Lake, and I'd got my Mavic 2 Pro and was just kind of just
Great
playing
drone.
with it and taking it up in the mountains and taking pictures of trees and doing whatever. And then I saw probably the same advertisement on Facebook that you guys were, Drone Command Live, check this out. And it was like, whoa, okay, I'm going to check that out. And then next thing I know, I'm sitting watching 3 days worth of stuff on my computer. And then it was the conversation of, do you want to join the Sky Eye Network? And this is what we do, and this is what it costs. And I kind of weighed the options, and it was like anything that would allow me to get back into the drone world, I was willing to do that, just so that I could try to take my skills to a different level and be able to actually implemented into a way to bring some cash into the house.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like we all, from some of the stories that I've heard, from the Sky Network members, we all kind of saw that link for a reason. On Facebook, it was like I had just lost my job. I was a graphic artist, and I was definitely kind of looking for something that could pay a little bit better, something where I could, do my own thing, be my own boss. And literally that day, I went home and I saw that link, and I'm like, this is interesting. This is the universe telling me something. So
Yeah.
kind of your same situation as well.
I just
And
got
that's
a B.
super
I
cool.
just got a B360.
If you guys don't know what Bees 360 is, it's a homeowner's insurance inspection app that you do. Davey, guy below, Davey and I both are probably, I guess, one of the top inspectors from all accounts.
I'm about 300 deep now, right?
I think I'm about 400, pretty
Oh, yeah.
much close to it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
took
so
I took
it's
a weekend off, Mike.
you took a weekend off.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a great way to supplement your income doing your own drone business or your own drone gigs and stuff like that.
And hone your skills.
And
I mean,
and
it's like,
definitely hone your skills. I've gotten much better actually
yeah,
flying with Bees 360
yeah. I mean,
as a subcontractor for sure. Yep.
I had a branch there. I think I might have been telling you, Mike. I had a branch there like 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, and you know, got too close, and the branch caught it, flipped upside down, landed in the roof of a house. Good thing that there was landscapers there because I got the guy. I spoke as much Spanish as I could. He went, he got a ladder. I got up on the roof. I got my drone.
You froze, Davey.
Extra props. I threw it on there. Good to go. But for the most part, you know, it's a learning curve. The process, but once you get in there, let's not forget the very first one that I did. Do you remember that I called you? I was on the side of the road. I couldn't stop laughing. Do you remember that?
Refresh my memory again.
Oh my God. Because it was the first premium 4-point that I had done. Dave, I think there's four different, there's a claims, there's a premium 4-point, there's a 4-point, or there's an exterior. You get, four. And now we're going into a white glove operation here in the next couple of weeks. But for the most part, each one is a different level. And I was on my very first premium 4-point, which means that you do a little more detail in your inspection. I knew I didn't do it right from the
2
beginning.
pictures of every room.
It's yeah. I mean, the prompts are there, but they're not as intuitive as they should be when you're first doing it. After you do it, it's
Yeah.
reasonably common sense. But I left this house, which just happened to be a 4,800 square foot whatever new build. And I'm like in there pretending I knew what I was doing, and I knew I did the whole thing wrong. And I got I got in the car and I called Mike, and I'm like, dude, I messed up big time. And he goes, well, the worst case scenario is you're going to go back and do it again. I'm like, but I don't want to go back. I don't want to go any other place again,
No.
But yeah, but now it's like it's easy peasy now once you know what you're doing. But it definitely gets you honing your skills because you're in close quarters to to components and the roof and all of that stuff. So
And also too, some of these people that we are doing these inspections for, I mean, there's very wealthy people, and wealthy people own what? Businesses. So we've gotten a few jobs from just doing homeowners inspections. Somebody might need, their dock, they want a picture of their house with the dock on the lake or something like that they can blow up and show their friends. maybe they're a new homeowner, that type of thing. Or I've had people wanting me to come out and do their businesses, so they can get better photos for Google Earth or Google, Google reviews or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you meet a
Um,
bushel of interesting people, I
Yeah.
mean, it's just up to you at the end of the day to, be the person that they want to talk to, and
Just
you get a rapport with these people going,
drop
while
seeds,
you're in their house.
Yeah,
You know?
we're every day we're dropping cards to these people and seeds, So it's just a great way to earn and learn at the same time.
There you go. Earn and learn, buddy.
But
We're all
Davey,
Good
good
way
at
to put it too.
Mr.
earning and
Kessner,
learning.
you're probably beyond that. We know that for sure. But yeah, so go on. We got about 6 minutes left.
Well, and it was interesting here in Utah. How should I put it? I'm not LDS, but a member of the Mormon Church. And with the first golf course that I went and talked to, they weren't interested at all. But I've been taking some pretty interesting panos of
Yes, you have.
Mormon
Those are
couples that
impressive.
are around here and everything
Amazing.
else.
Yeah.
And as soon as I showed the golf pro a picture of my temple, he's like, "Whoa, you can take and do something like that? Oh, okay. Well, let me tell you, the owner's off in the back, and here, get in the golf cart and go talk to him about that and show him one of those pictures." And so it was one of my panos that got me so that I could do my first golf course. And it's interesting when you're getting all lined up in the tee boxes and all that kind of stuff. You got trees off and everything else. I've got my drone screaming at me because of the alarms and the warnings and all that stuff. And so I had to shut that part off of my drone so I could start out underneath the trees.
I did the same thing with Cove Cave golf course here in Clearwater. Actually, they still owe me money. They never paid me for the job I did, but Dave, the same thing. I was a lesser flyer. This is a couple of years ago, and I was like shitting bricks, man, thinking I was going to crash this drone with golfers on the course for sure.
Oh.
But so I flew higher than the owner of the golf course wanted me to. They wanted it like as the golf ball flies. They wanted the drone to go in, which makes sense. But I was like trying to get up over the trees and stuff, and yeah.
And this owner wanted it as the golf cart drives, so
Yeah,
that it's
yeah.
just at the same level as where you are when you're walking the course and everything else, so that they can show the contours of the fairway and all that stuff.
Well, you
And
can
so
use Lychee now, or even the DJI app for
the DJI app with the waypoints is
waypoints, yeah.
really incredible for doing those kind of flights.
Mhm.
You
But
got to make sure it's above 6 feet when you start it, because if you start it lower than 6 feet, when you bring it back, it'll just sit there and it'll just hover and it won't go down the golf course or anything else. So then all of a sudden you got to exit out of that thing and do a whole new set of waypoints. But once you get that first one, it's above 6 feet, you can take it so that your next waypoints are even almost right off of the fairway.
But Dave, I think you have done it the correct way. As I think, we've talked about in the past, that find a golf course that is local, and find a golf course that will accommodate you using it as your canvas, so to speak, so that you can go out there on a daily basis, weekly basis, and give them a product at the end of your trial and error that will be accommodating to them, but at the same time, they're letting you use their place for a minimal charge, or even free, because why would you charge somebody when they're letting you explore and letting you learn your craft? You know what I mean? So to get something like that, to me, is golden. You know what I mean? So I think you've got a thing on your hands there, brother.
Oh yeah, and
Like,
it was totally beautiful, and you hit the nail right on the head, Davey, because I kind of just told them I'm giving you a mafia offer, and they said, "What's that?" And I said, "Basically something you can't refuse. Let me come practice on your golf course, and then get something that you approve of, and then I'll just use that for marketing." And they let me go. it was 5 different times out on their course with me doing different flights and different stuff and showing them. And then they were telling me what it is they wanted. And they're like, man, I feel real bad telling you this considering with the price you're charging us. And I'm like, no, this is perfectly fine with me because we need to be able to have something you guys really like. Because if you really like it, then somebody else is going to like it too.
Okay,
Yep.
Dave, that's great. Great. Hey, if you could, we got about a minute and 35 seconds left. So Dave, if you could, I would imagine a lot of new pilots probably maybe watching this. So if you could give any kind of advice to any new, three things you can give any new pilot quickly, what would you tell them to do?
I would definitely tell them to practice because you get paid in public what you practice in private. And I would tell them practice some more and find different terrain and different places where they're working not only just straight flights and up and down, but they want to work a point of interest and learn how to use their controllers in conjunction with each other, where they're taking and making the drone do like this, but yet because those kind of shots are invaluable, and they need to figure out how to play in photo editing the world, and because that they tell you not to, but it's with send. But if you're editing your old photos, it makes a huge difference.
Nice.
It's a craft you can learn, so.
I'm going to add to that. So that's great advice. I'm going to add to that. I'm going to, one of the best things, I don't know, best, neat, whatever, is don't be afraid to work with the competition. Check out Mike's website at getflightimagery.com and his Instagram at flight_imagery. That's FLIGHT_IMAGERY. Check out Davey at arrowvisionmedia.com. Also check out his Instagram at AERO_VISION_MEDIA. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next episode.